Hey everybody, and welcome back to Kevin's Upfront Opinion today. So, today what I thought I'd do is do a bit of a ghost story. Okay, because as most of you probably know, okay, that watch my videos or watch it, any of the content or listen to it, what I actually do, will know that I used to go on ghost adventures. Now, I don't do ghost investigations anymore. I stopped doing them a few years ago. Okay. But I thought what I'd do today is speak about one of the very few times I've gone somewhere and actually been spooked. Okay. And the one place I've really been to where I can honestly say it actually had me was 30 East Drive in Pontefract in West Yorkshire. Now, I went there probably, it had to be about three, maybe 4 years ago. Okay, when I went there, I had no idea I was going to be going there. So basically what happened was, I had a phone call from my father-in-law. Okay, now my father-in-law, he's been doing ghost investigations for years. And as a general rule, I've helped him now and then when he's needed a bit of help, somebody to give him a bit of support and everything. Okay, and this one particular day, this was a midweek day, he said to me, the company that he was working with have booked up 30 East Drive and they got nobody to go. And he said, how do you fancy it? I said, I can if you want. If you've got nobody else to come, he said, well, your sister-in-law Jennifer's come in and a boyfriend, and it'd be you and me. I said, okay, all right. When are we going? I said, he said to me, can you be ready like an hour? I thought, it's nothing like giving me a bit of warning, is there? I said, okay, I'll be ready in an hour. So comes and picks me up, and we drive all the way up to Yorkshire. So obviously we live down here on the south coast in Hampshire, on the south coast of Hampshire. So that means driving all the way the upper end of the country. Okay. And on the way up, I said to him, what can you tell me about 30 East Drive? I've heard of the place. Okay. But what can you tell me? He said, I ain't telling you diddly squat. All I'm going to tell you is we're going to this place. We're going to sleep there overnight. So we're going to be staying it. We're going to stay there. It's got a rich history. And that's it. I thought, great. Thanks a lot. Okay, so we get all the way up to Pontefract. Okay, we find 30 East Drive. Okay, and we nip to the chip and chip. Was it a fish and chip shop? I think it was a fish and chip shop. It was just local, so we're going to get some bite to eat. And when we go to the house, okay, and he said to me, "Can you guide me in?" I said, "Yeah, sure, no problem." So I start guiding him in. Okay, and I say, "Stop." Doesn't hear a word I say. And because he has quite a modern car, as you know, like all the alarms, none of the alarms work. Okay. That should give you an idea straight away, but something ain't going to happen. And you can say it's coincidental, but the alarms on the car do not work as he's reversing to say that he's too close. What does he do? Go smack straight into the wall. Okay. Obviously, the owners of the property aren't best happy, but he already knew him, so we got off with that. So we go into the house, okay, and have a look around downstairs, and I thought, to me, it just looks like a normal Victorian, I'd say Victorian terraced house. Well, semi-detached actually, I believe, if I remember rightly. And I thought, looks all right, you know. If I'm going to have to sleep here tonight, it looks like I'm sleeping here tonight. And I think nothing of it. So, we we get all the kit out and everything. And he says, how about we go upstairs as it's getting dark? I said, all right, let's go upstairs. And so he guides us into, you've got to remember, I know nothing about this house. I don't know anything about what's happened here before. So we go into the, I believe it's the kid's bedroom. And my sister-in-law's sat on the bed, okay, it's a single bed. My father-in-law's just sat underneath the window. And then you got me, sat in the, well, not in the hallway, but in the door, because the door's wide open. And my father-in-law, he says to me, he says, Kevin, you all right? Yeah, I'm fine, why? He said, you look like you're white as a ghost. And he said, are you sure you're okay? And what I will say is this. Okay, I do suffer from epilepsy. And I've suffered from epilepsy all my life. Well, I don't actually know when I got it, but we'll say all my life for now. Okay. And he says, you look as white as a sheep. And my father-in-law, whether he was trying to scare the crap out of me, because he's never, I've never been spooked or anything. And he turns to my sister-in-law and he says, and I've never really got on with my sister-in-law. She's all right for a sister-in-law, I suppose. And he says to her, he says, Jennifer, do you see that? And I said to him, don't even try playing me. I'm not in the mood for it today. It's going to be a long night as it is. Okay. You've made me come to Yorkshire. You know I don't like Yorkshire. Okay, so don't try any of your stunts. And they're both swearing, but they can see this kid with its hand on my shoulder. Remember, it was on my right hand side. I said, there's nothing there. So don't even try playing it. And they keep on saying that there's this kid just stood there right next to me, with its hand on my shoulder. And I thought, you two, you're both a pair of dicks. Why have you got to try and wind me up? Right, so I'm getting myself really stressed out. Okay, so I said, right, I'm going in the hallway. And he said, all right, you go in the hallway. How about you go and sit on top of the stairs? I thought, why do you want me to stand at the top of the stairs? Has something happened in the past at the top of the stairs or something? I said, no, why don't you just go? I said to him, I am not standing at the top of the stairs, because obviously something's going to happen. Right, so he says, no, nothing's ever happened. What I will say is, my father-in-law's a liar, because I know exactly what's in the past has happened at the top of them stairs. Okay, so he comes out and my sister-in-law comes out. Okay, now me and my sister-in-law, we're like half a metre apart, literally facing each other. You would think that we're about to kiss each other or something. We're that close to each other. And my father-in-law says, look, let's just put a cat ball down. I said, fine, if you want to put a cat ball. Now, for anybody that's never done a ghost investigation, okay, reason people that do ghost investigations use cat balls is soon as they move, they light up. Okay, so you don't have to worry about the thought of, did it move? Didn't it move? If it moves, it will light up. So you got me and my sister-in-law either side facing each other of this cat ball. And all we see, you got to remember, pitch black, no lights on or anything. My father-in-law was at the other end of the hallway. And it lights up. And I'm telling you what, I fucking shit myself. Okay, I was ready to have to change my underwear and my trousers and everything. I literally, and this is the first time in my life, I literally jumped into my sister-in-law's arms. And I openly admit it, I've never been so scared in all my life seeing this cat ball light up. And I'm not saying this for the sake of saying this. This bloody well happened. So, whilst we're there, I said, right, what's bloody happened in this house? He said, well, haven't you seen the films? I said, what films? You know, I don't watch TV. I don't get to watch TV. I've got 5 kids at home. When do I get a chance to watch TV? So what turns out had happened, or alleged, that there was some murders by a monk. And that's why it's called 30 East Drive, the Black Monk of Pontefract. Okay. Now, obviously, nobody actually knows the truth of what happened. But what is known, that I don't know the exact period, but I believe it's like in the 1960s or 70s, something actually happened in that house. And it was like a possession at the end of the day. So a film ended up getting made about the possession that happened in that house. And ever since that possession happened, nobody will live in that house. Now, we stayed in that house overnight. And I've got to admit, probably the best night's sleep I'd had in a long time. Okay. So, taking into account, a lot of people talk about going on ghost investigations. Oh, I've seen this, I've seen that. I've probably been on about 50 ghost investigations in my life. Now, if I was to speak to it and I got my father-in-law on here, he would say to you, I'm the type of person, I don't see anything. I have feelings, I've had feelings, and I've been put in places where spiritually, okay, so if you take, for instance, at Fort Woodley, if you go to Fort Woodley, if you go up the North Tunnel, okay, so you go right up the far end, okay, alleged kid got murdered by, if I remember rightly, 3 soldiers. Now, if you go into one particular part of that, you can sense them soldiers. I'm the type of person, I won't see them soldiers, I can go like that. He ain't going to do anything to me, but I'm going to sense it. It's like I can feel his presence there, not being able to see it. He could be 7 foot tall, or he could be a dwarf at 4 foot tall. Okay, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you if he's got white skin, if he's half caste, if he's come from Africa or the Caribbean. I could not tell you a single thing about him. I could tell you that I get a bad feeling from him, that he's a mean, bad person, but I couldn't tell you anything else about him. Okay. And that's the way that I've always been. But I could be put into a place and I could tell you if I have a bad feeling of a potential spirit being there. Now, there are other people who would be able to say, right, and they could basically do a drawing of it. Okay, there's some people that may even see something. My father-in-law, he's a classic one for that. He actually, he kind of sees spirits. It's like, for instance, when we were at 30 East Drive, he said, Kevin, I can see a child's spirit, a small child, with its hand on your shoulder. And I was like, don't try and wind me up. I'm not in the mood for a wind up tonight. Okay? Because I can't see anything. And whether that's because I've blocked myself to it, or I just physically can't see it, or I don't know how to do it, there's an argument from both sides. But of all the places I've been to, this is probably the one place in the whole of the UK that's affected me the most. Now, there may be other places up and down the country, okay, where maybe I'd be affected even more than at 30 East Drive in Pontefract. I haven't been to any yet, and maybe one day I will do, okay, but for now, if I'm to be brutally honest with myself, 30 East Drive is the one place out of all the places, and I've been, it's like I've been down Fort Woodley's tunnels probably about 20 to 30 times. I've lost track how many times I've been down the tunnels. Been in the South Tunnel, been in the East Tunnel, been in the West Tunnel, been in the West Tunnel on my own in the pitch black. Try doing that, going all the way down there, 1 o'clock in the morning, okay, and then coming back on your own. Most people aren't stupid enough to do that. I am stupid enough to do that. Okay, I've been in the North Tunnel all on my own as well. Okay, with nobody there. Been to Manor Farm. Been to Ragged School, which was famous, being a Victorian school back in the 1800s. But out of all these places, and there are other places as well, okay, this is the one place, I must admit, has affected me the most. Okay, whether you want to believe it or not, okay, I'm not going to tell you you should believe it or you shouldn't believe it. So if you are somebody that wants the challenge of going to a haunted place, whether it's staying there overnight, because I did sleep there overnight, okay, this is the one place I would suggest to go. But if you're up for a challenge and you want to try and stay somewhere overnight, sleep there all night, okay, go to 30 East Drive, because I never regretted it. Some ways I did regret it. Okay, I got a bit too close to my sister-in-law, but as a general rule, I didn't regret it. Okay, give this place a go, because I'm sure that there's going to be some company up and down the country somewhere that's going to be doing a trip to 30 East Drive very soon. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you all again a bit later.